Hey everybody, we're live. Welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, and with me is Lori, the Happy Picker.
Hello. I think it looks like Melanie's here. Hi, Melanie.
Oh, hi, Melanie. I saw you share my story this morning. I appreciate it. Now my phone's going to blow up. So if you follow Lori here and you don't know me, my name is Star, and me... my phone's quiet all morning until I go live. It's like my friends know. She's live. Let's
bug her.
But I do this full time with my boyfriend, and we run this business together. And if you are one of my subscribers and you haven't met Lori yet, I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Well, I've been selling for, I don't know, my eBay account was opened in 1998. So however long that is, 20 some years. Did it part-time for a long time. And as I was graduating my youngest children, we started kind of ramping up the eBay business. And now I'm an empty nester, so I can do it full time. And I just discovered the wonderful online reselling world, like just last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love the reselling community, and it's fun to interact and talk with people that do what we do and understand it. And yeah.
Yeah, I met you guys, you and your husband, at FlipCon last year.
Right.
We went out to dinner with Trish, and we got to know each other.
Yeah, and that was, I think that was August of last year, and we had just started following people on YouTube and gotten on Instagram like in March of that year, I think. Started our account, so we were really new to all of it.
Yeah, and then we hooked back up this year, and we were twinsies. I've shown the picture on here 1,000 times when I had Coco on, but the reselling community online is just amazing, and I talk about that a lot on this channel, because this job, even if you have a partner, I mean, Keith works on a different floor in a different room, and we do different tasks throughout the day. It can still be pretty lonely. You don't have an office, you don't have coworkers. We're often home for days on end, so it's very important to connect with other people. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
So yeah, I agree with you. And I was actually talking with, I had Will on Tuesday. And after we were live, we stayed on and chatted for a little bit. And I think the best and biggest reselling community is Instagram.
Yeah.
More so that Facebook has its groups and stuff. I have my group. But I feel as far as just like where resellers flock to see each other and see each other's reels and talk, I think it's Instagram.
Yeah. I've got a Facebook page, but it just doesn't get much traffic at all. And
yeah, I mean, in comparison, I have 11,000 followers on YouTube and Instagram and like 800.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know why that is.
I agree, except I really, really like my Facebook group. If y'all ain't in it, it's Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. It's a really good group. By design, I don't allow negativity. I don't allow people to be mean. There are no stupid questions. We were all new at one time. So everyone in there is very nice and helpful, and that's a good atmosphere.
That's good, because I feel like Facebook often is the place where people are the ugliest.
Yeah, a lot of the groups are very toxic.
Yeah.
And very they attack new people. I don't allow that in my group. So it's a good place to be. And I can go away. Like I don't know if you know, but I was in the hospital I had Lyme disease right before FlipCon.
Right before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right before. And then I went to FlipCon, and then my kid was here for 2 weeks. I was gone from my group for like a month, and I have good moderators, but we didn't have nobody was fighting. There was no issues. I come back and everybody's still happy and friends. And I'm like, this is the best group. So if you guys aren't in it, I would suggest joining it. Hi, Jacqueline. Welcome in.
Hello.
So if you guys have any questions for me or Lori, we'll both answer. I'm going to start asking her a couple of questions, and you guys can chime in whenever you want with your questions. What do you sell?
Oh, I'm an everything seller. If I can ship it, I'll sell it. Actually, I haven't gotten into freight shipping, so I mean, because just about anything could be shipped, I guess, but I won't do freight, so
No freight.
haven't tried it.
I've had freight shipped to me when we purchase wholesale stuff, but I've
Yeah.
never shipped freight.
Yeah. And I mean, I suppose if the price was right, I would consider that even, but I've just never really delved into it, figured it out.
You haven't encountered anything you need freight for yet, but you might.
Yeah. I don't. We have started selling clothing, but that's probably the smallest portion of what I sell. Mostly hard goods. And I love finding vintage stuff. Although not all vintage stuff is created equal. Some of it just doesn't sell.
Yeah, I do a lot of plush, obviously. People know that. And I'll find vintage plush and get so excited. Like, this is from the 70s. And I comp and it's like an $8 plush.
Yeah, if that.
And I'm like, oh, that's so sad because I was excited. So yeah, not all vintage is created equally. A lot of it's the race to the bottom. Stop it. I talk about that on this channel all the time. Don't race to the bottom. You're ruining it for everybody. What's your favorite thing to sell?
I really love finding vintage glass, like Blanco, Viking glass, things like that. A lot of people are scared of shipping glass, but I've shipped some ginormous pieces before.
Really?
You just have to be really careful, and you have to insure them. But I haven't had anything of significant value broken in shipping. So
yeah, I had a friend who did hard goods who told me when she was learning how to package it, she just took a glass she didn't care about out of her own cupboard and wrapped it, put it in a box, and dropped it off of like the roof, and it survived. And she's like, all right, I got this. Like, she broke a couple of glasses. She got to like the third one. Or you can go to the Dollar Tree and spend $1. Is it $1.25 now?
Yeah.
And get glasses, and you can just practice on cheap things. And she basically says, once you can drop it from a roof and it can hit the ground and it's okay, then you've learned how to package it properly.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of sellers swear by double boxing stuff. Mm-hmm. I've never actually done it, and I've still been okay. So
yeah, we don't ship a lot of glass, but I should preface this with, I've never packaged stuff for shipping that's breakable. I leave that to Keith. His job before this, he was in shipping and receiving at Bayer. So he did a lot of their stuff. So he learned on the job in the real world, I guess you would call it. And so I even let him handle the video games and anything that needs special attention.
Well, Plush is pretty easy to ship. That is the nice thing about that.
Yeah, I mostly do jeans and Plush. So getting the jeans into the cardboard mailer is an art form.
Oh.
Like the 3X's and stuff, but I have learned how to do that. But the Plush just goes in a bag, really.
Yeah, well, I throw my jeans into a bag too, so I double bag them, but...
Yeah, I put them in the clear poly.
Yeah.
And then I slide them into that cardboard, so it's only $7.60 to ship.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, wow. That would be an art form to get those big jeans in there.
I just did it this morning with 2 pairs. I actually have a question over here I'm going to answer. And then I'll let you, because you go on vacations too, so you can answer how you get back on track if you take time off. So when I can plan it, if I know I'm going to FlipCon, if I know I'm going somewhere, I will schedule listings out for the time I'm gone. And usually Keith will stay behind. He's not a social person and does our shipping and will send offers. And so he kind of keeps it alive. Now, while I was in the hospital, not so much. But one of the things that we like to do all the time is always have a bank. So we use List Perfectly to do all of our listings, but you can do it without List Perfectly. Just have extra photos, have extra drafts, have extra stuff ready. So if you were to wind up in the hospital or sick or had an emergency or something happens with your kids, your dogs, whatever life happens, you have those pictures and those drafts extra that you can use to continue to keep your store alive. And so Keith had a whole bank of stuff to list. And then when I got back home from the hospital, I have a strict routine. Strict. I am type A personality. I'm diagnosed with OCD, and I can't be out of my routines or I don't function. So I have a routine for each day that I do. I keep track of all my stuff in a planner, that day's tasks. If you're not as stringent as me, just make a to-do list every day and get into a routine of Monday is thrifting, Tuesday is photos, Wednesdays is creating drafts. You get back from the hospital, it's Wednesday, it's draft day. It's really easy to slide right back into the routines. So how do you deal with it, Lori?
Very, very similar. Yeah. My goal is to list 8 to 10 things, new items every day. And so beyond that, anything that I am working on listing, I save it as a draft so that when I'm gone, I have inventory to list that's just ready to go. Just push it live. And I mean, that doesn't keep my store completely active when I'm gone, but I think it helps for sure. I mean, I do still see a slowdown when I'm on vacation mode or time away, but yeah, I do think it really helps to keep.
And then when you get back from vacation, how do you get yourself back into the?
Oh, I mean, it's routine, like you said. I mean, I just kind of have my daily routine. That's what I do. So I only list 5 days a week. And even Wednesdays, I don't do that much listing. Take the weekends off from listing and do other things. Sometimes business related, like sourcing.
Yeah. We're very similar. We just have routines, and it takes 30 days to create a good habit. So if you want to get in the habit of listing daily, you have to almost force yourself to do it. But after the 30-day mark, it's a habit. Think of making your bed or exercising. Once you've done it for so long, you go on autopilot and you cannot leave the room before you make your bed. At least I can't, because it's been a habit for so many years.
Yeah.
And we go for a walk every morning, even when we don't want to, because it's ingrained in us. We've just finished shipping. It's time for our walk. So you have to force yourself almost to create these good habits and make those to-do lists and force yourself to do it. And eventually you'll find that oh, I just finished lunch. It's time to do pictures or time to make my drafts.
Yeah, Kyle still works. And so, 85, 90% of the business I do. Mm-hmm. But he does, when he gets home from work most days, he'll go down and take pictures of like 10 items or whatever, which helps me a lot because then pictures are ready and I can just do my listings and load the pictures and not have to worry about that.
Yeah, pictures is the biggest part, I think. The processing the items and photographing them, to me, I think is the hardest. And in our business, I do all the photos and Keith does all the listing because he doesn't like plush or jeans. So if he gets in a shipment of remotes or video games, he'll do the pictures because he likes those. And then I do the listing. So we kind of switch back and forth on what we have the most. We do a lot of wholesale and volume.
Yeah.
But the pictures, I think, are the hardest. And if you can just get extras of those, and if you do the same stuff over and over too, you get to where you don't comp anymore.
Right.
And use templates. Guys, use templates, because then you're just, especially if you do like a lot of jeans or a lot of glass or anything that you can have a good template and you're just filling in measurements or whatever, I think that helps too.
I used to use them. I haven't so much anymore, but maybe I should get back to that.
Yeah, I use List Perfectly for everything. And I take my pictures right into their catalog. And so they're just loaded in there, and he can go downstairs on his computer and go in our catalog. They have a background remover with photo room.
Yeah.
And you can set your default template. So if I'm doing a jeans day, all my photos are going into jeans listings. If I'm doing a plush day, they're all plush templates.
Nice.
It really helps streamline the process, but you don't have to have List Perfectly for that. Just eBay has templates.
Right.
They have their own background remover. You can use AI now. Always do whatever helps you work faster and better and streamline your processes.
I do need to get faster.
I used to be so slow. It used to take me like an hour to measure 5 pairs of jeans. And now I can do like 40 in an hour. I'm I'm going to silence my phone because apparently I'm popular. Okay. So which platforms do you sell on?
eBay's primary, but then I do cross-list to Poshmark, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. I have not tried List Perfectly yet. I am planning to try it soon. Just haven't gotten there yet. And I don't even get everything cross-listed, and I think that's because I'm not using something like List Perfectly, which makes it easier. I've been using Flip, which is the free. Was that an eye roll? I saw that.
It was definitely an eye roll.
I mean, it works. It works, but it is a little bit, I think, probably more labor intensive than what using List Perfectly would be.
Yeah. I mean, with List Perfectly, you can set it in one setting. Like you can have a different footer on Mercari, Poshmark, Facebook, and eBay, and Grailed, and Kidizen, whatever you do. So you set it on different platforms to have these different footers. Because like on Poshmark, you probably want to say bundle and we'll send you an offer, right?
Gotcha.
And then eBay, you may say we offer global shipping or international shipping or something different. There's just a lot to List Perfectly that's not cross-posting. There's a lot to the service that's not cross-posting. So that's why I rolled my eyes, because everyone's like, I use Flip. And I'm like, cool story. All 3,000 of my listings are saved in LP, and they will be forever. I will never have stuff lost or... Anyway, if anybody does want to try, you can get 30% off your first month with code flippinhippos. I'll just put that out there. And they are synced with Sizely and PhotoRoom now. Not synced, partnered.
Gotcha. No, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it.
What's your favorite platform?
Well, I think eBay, just because it's the one I'm the most familiar with and that I've been using for so long. And that's where 90% of my sales happen to. But I just started cross-listing this spring, actually. And my number 2 platform is actually Facebook Marketplace with shipping.
I was going to say, do you do shipping or just local?
Yeah, no, with shipping. And I've heard some people shy away from it, don't like it. I have not had an issue so far.
On wood.
I know. Yeah. So far, I've not had any issues with them.
That's the one platform we've never tried.
Well, and their fees are better than any other platform, and their shipping is cheaper than. And now I don't pay the shipping. I mean, but what they charge the buyer is less than most any other platform, so it makes it more affordable for the buyer.
I'm gonna make myself a note. Maybe after Q4.
Yeah.
I don't like to try new things. Although we shipped from free shipping to charging shipping for Q4.
You did just make that change?
Yeah, like right after FlipCon, we switched everything.
Have you found that to be working?
I don't really see a difference.
Really? I use calculated shipping on 99% of my stuff. But
yeah, I don't see, things are still slow. They're still bad. The economy's still awful. We're doing flat rate, but it's the same prices. So if I was charging 20 free ship for American Eagle jeans, now I'm charging 10 plus 10 ship.
Gotcha.
It's the same.
Right.
I don't see a decrease or an increase. So
it's hard to measure, I think.
It is, especially during Q4. And I think right now, nothing's normal. Everything's just kind of different because of the economy.
Yeah. It has been slow.
Yes. Well, it's costing everybody more for groceries and gas. They don't have discretionary funds. If you're selling the stuff that the 1% buys, then you're fine because they're not affected.
Yeah.
Okay, you already told us you're full-time and your husband's part-time. But tell us about your names, Happy Picker and Grumpy Picker.
Well, I'm the happy one, right? When we wanted something that was kind of catchy, where we could both have our own accounts and do our own thing and yet also do stuff together as we wanted to. And sometimes he gets called Grandpa at home. instead of grandpa. So it just seems to fit. Now, he's not always grumpy. I mean, he's a pretty happy guy most of the time. But yeah, it just seemed like it would be something people could remember. So
yeah, he has a resting grumpy face.
There you go. Yeah.
He just looks grumpy even when he's not. Like I've seen him.
He does like to play it up a little bit too.
Yeah, but he's really nice. I don't think he's grumpy. He's never been grumpy to me. He's always been very nice to me. And you guys were very nice to include me this year because all my friends had left early and I was sitting there by myself. Oh, yeah. And we were like, come to dinner with us. And
absolutely. No, we want to hang out with people as much as we can. That's what we're there for.
And Will and Hannah went.
Yep.
And who else went? Was it just?
Well, this time, that was it for dinner with that last night. Yeah.
Oh, that was good food too.
It was. It was.
Margaritas.
Yep. It was packed. That place was packed.
Yeah, we just got a new Mexican restaurant here. I'm really excited. It just opened. And so we're going Sunday with Keith's grandparents. They raised him. So they're like his parents. They're our family.
We're going for Mexican tonight. So
Mexican's the best.
One of my favorite things.
All right. So do you have any advice for anyone that wants to quit their job and go full time?
Well, I haven't had to make that transition really because I was a stay-at-home mom. So I didn't give up a full-time income or anything to do this. But our goal is to in the next year and a half make it so that Kyle can quit and retire early and go full-time with me. So we're just trying to ramp up our listings, build up our inventory of what we have for sale. I hear people talk about you can expect a 1% sell-through rate on eBay daily, which means we have over 1,000 listings. So that if you have 1,000 listings, you should be selling 10 items a day. Well, we're not selling 10 items a day. And I think it probably matters to some degree, what kind of things you're selling too. But we have been selling probably close to 5 items a day. But
I think that's more realistic, honestly.
Yeah.
Even pre-COVID, when we were at our height, when we were making the most money and the most sales, we would sell 10 to 15 a day with 2,000 listings.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's between between 0.5% to 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's more realistic unless you have really electronics and stuff like that. Those are more 1%.
Right. So our goal right now is to just build up our listings, build up our savings so that we'll have a cushion to, live off of when sales are down or as we're transitioning and figuring it all out. But that is our goal. I mean, we believe it's doable. We've run the numbers. And obviously it's doable. There's other people doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah, and I didn't have a choice. I got hurt at work and I had to do it. And then we brought Keith on within a couple of years. It's possible. You just have to work.
Right.
You can't, now we're to the point where we take weekends off. We collectively probably work 6-7 hours a day a piece, which is 12 hours manpower.
Right.
So it's still more than one person would do, but it's possible. And I think the savings account, that's so important. That's one of my biggest things I love to talk about on here. We're debt free. And I always tell people, even if you don't like Dave Ramsey, he's got some good things to say and he's got some good processes and budgets for you to listen to. So listen to him. You don't have to like him as a person. You don't.
No, right. Yeah.
But he's got good things to say. And if you can get debt free and you can get that 6 months to a year, I mean, our sales this year, between everything that happened, and then we just bought a car. We paid all cash for it. And our sales are dismal and we're doing just fine and our lifestyle hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So it's super important to get to that point, and then there comes a point where you're like, well, I got to rebuild my savings back up. And then you have to work harder again.
So you had 2,000 listings before COVID. Where are you at now?
2,600.
Okay, cool.
And we're selling 3 a day
Yeah.
on eBay. Our Poshmark and Macari are doing really, really well.
That's good. I
And
should cross list more.
yeah, they're doing, I'm gonna knock on wood because I don't want to jinx myself. But my Poshmark is like making up for eBay right now. But we have 2 eBays. We have one I don't share publicly, which is a smart thing to do. I was told in the beginning, if you're going to be on YouTube, you got to have a second eBay just in case. If someone was mad at you or something, you're a public figure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then there's electronics and things that he does sell that I don't share. So that's that. And that one's okay. But the clothing and plush one is like poop right now. Poop.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I sell the least on Poshmark, but that's probably because Poshmark is primarily known for clothing, which I don't sell a ton of. So Dave Ramsey is king.
I sell a lot of jeans and stuffed animals on Poshmark. It's been really good. I don't know what's going on with eBay, but the other eBay that Keith puts his electronics on, that's, like I said, doing well because it's electronics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but nothing's been like textbook or normal since COVID, I don't think.
I mean, I wasn't, before COVID, I think I had 200 listings, maybe, if that. So I can't even compare, I don't think, like before to now.
During the shutdown was crazy good. It was like the golden age of Reseller.
Oh. Yeah, but we don't want to do that again.
No. Things were really good. And then every year since has been different and weird in its own little entity that's not even what was normal pre-2020. And this Q4, I don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We have we also have a booth in a flea market.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get out of the house every Wednesday and go work at the flea market and work my booth and stuff. And the last few years, the Halloween season has been amazing. I mean, people decorate for Halloween, almost as much as Christmas nowadays. This year, it was terrible. It was terrible. So I don't know if it's economy related. I'm assuming it is, but I'm hoping
it is too, because I have eyes and I have a bank account and I can tell you what's going on with my groceries. Like, I'm a menu planner and I love to cook and I make a menu plan and I make big meals. Like I cook really big 2 times a week and then we just eat leftovers. And my kids are grown. We're empty nesters too. So with just me and Keith, it used to be like $75 a week, maybe $100 if we bought steak and soda and snacks. It's bare minimum just to get the stuff for the menu and lunches is like $150 a week now.
Yep.
So it's doubled.
I hear you. Same.
And nothing has changed. I'm still, this week I made a big pot of so good homemade chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
I do share recipes on my face on my website. I'm gonna put it in here for people because it's one of my passions. I love to cook, so go there and look for the Hungry Hippo. And I made a new recipe this week, and I did not record it. I'll have to make it again for you guys so I can record it and put it on the website. It's like a healthier, better version of the KFC bowl.
Oh.
So I made gravy with flour, butter, and chicken stock and seasonings. And then I put chicken in there and homemade mashed potatoes and corn. It was really good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I love food and I love to cook.
I love food, but I don't love to cook.
No, I do.
It's okay. I mean, I do it. It's not a passion. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, I only really cook Monday and Tuesday, like I said, really big. And we'll eat leftovers from that. And I always make stuff I can freeze. So I'm eating stuff from 2 weeks ago too.
Right.
In the freezer.
We do a lot of leftovers too, because it's just easier to make a bigger meal than it is when you're cooking than it is to cook for 2. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's more cost effective like that. chicken dish cost $10 to make the whole thing and made 2 meals. So it's $2.50 a person per meal.
Mm-hmm.
That's cheap.
Pretty cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than going out, which
for sure
we do too much of.
Yeah, we do too. We do that too much too.
That's one of those things that we're saying we're going to have to cut back on when Kyle cuts his job. The eating out is going to have to diminish.
Yeah, we went down to once a week. And now we're trying to say it's only going to be like once every other week, but there's always something. Like we'll be out running errands and you're hungry and it's, let's go for lunch. It's for us, it's more like during the day when we want to go out for lunch.
Yeah.
Because I menu plan all the
convenience factor. Yeah.
I agree with this. The economy. So if there is, which we don't want there to be, the W word, that does help the economy though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too. Usually in election, the economy improves around election time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it usually does.
So that's coming.
To see. What's weird to me, like just to get off topic, and I don't want to get too political, but I find it strange that there's so many people saying they don't have jobs, they don't have money. But everywhere I go,
everybody's hiring.
Everybody's hiring. And no matter where I go, what random day of the week, what time of the day, everywhere is full and everybody's shopping and spending money. The grocery store, the Walmarts, the restaurants. Sure. And I work from home, so I go out at weird, different times when people should be at work.
Right.
And everybody's short-staffed and nobody has enough people. But nobody has if I didn't have this and I needed to pay my bills, I don't think I'd have too much pride to go flip burgers, honestly.
Well, they're paying a lot better there now than they used to even. The fast food joints are paying pretty good hourly wages now.
Yeah, our Five Guys pays like $20 an hour. There's a sign right on the counter.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they're also nice there. Of course. I just wanted to mention that because it just blows my mind that no matter when we go anywhere, it's always crowded. It could be the movies. It could be Walmart. And I'm like, why aren't y'all sitting at home spending your money on my eBay store?
There you go.
Instead of it here. Let's see. Do you have a specific setup for your photos?
We do. It needs some work, but I have a curtain rod hung up over a big desk. And I hang a white sheet, still using white, and put everything on it, take it down, wash it as needed. Also have a wood grain vinyl tablecloth that sometimes we'll use. We have ring lights that we use for lighting because I don't have my setup's actually down in our basement, and it is a walkout basement. There is some natural light, but not enough. Anyway, I'd really like to get set up for a flat lay for the clothes I do use. Haven't done that, but that's one of the things that's on my list. And I have a mannequin, but it's kind of a pain to get it out and dress it and undress it. And
I didn't mean to share that yet. I had a tall one, and her name was Lola after my grandma. And she just killed my back, dealing with her.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up selling her to, I think it was a theater group here at a high school.
Oh yeah.
This was back in 2017.
Right. So there are a few things I'll still put on it, like some dresses hang better and show better. But
yeah, I agree. So I was going to show you real quick, just to let you see. List perfectly how I take my pictures. I don't have any special light here.
Right.
And you can see my TV and my clutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what my final picture will end up looking like.
That's pretty amazing.
There's no light. I was going to see if I had any jeans, but I don't know if I can show you the flat lays. Yeah, I do. So I take my jeans the same way, just on the table. And you can see me, you can see the floor and everything, right? There's no special light.
Nice.
And that'll be my final picture. So that is probably my favorite thing about them, because prior I used to have the big photo. We used paper instead of a sheet, but we had the big roll paper, the butcher paper.
Right.
We would roll it out. We would have to break everything out, set it up, unset it up, do the lights. And now I literally just throw stuff in front of the TV and just go for it. And if it's a shirt or a dress, we have a command hook. One of those ones you stick to the wall. It's literally like the printer and half the desk will get in the photo, and then it just gets removed. That's really cool. Nice.
Yeah, that does make it easier, doesn't it? So what you're saying is that anybody could do this.
Yes.
You don't have to have a special layout or special setup.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I mean, even if you don't have those perfectly, you can get, I think it's
even eBay has the background remover.
Yeah. It's not as good.
Yeah.
But the photo room, I don't want to misspeak, but I think my friend told me it was like 60 sounds entirely too much, but it's one fee a year for the photo room app. And they have different things. You don't just have to do white. So like my friend's on had like a vintage plate, and he made it look like it was on some fancy dining room, shiny table.
Yeah. I've seen that. They look really nice, but to me that seems like that would take a lot of extra time. And I just wonder if it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I just bulk. I didn't show you that. You can bulk this. So this is the catalog. This is what it looks like, Lori, where I take all my pictures. Mm-hmm. And then Keith will go in here to do the listings. And if he has to comp it, like he can start it doing this. And he can go comp, or he can put in the location and the weight, which we put in the pictures too.
Yeah.
And you do it in bulk.
That's pretty fast right there.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
I love this perfectly. Any chance I can get to talk about it. 803 Trend says, I need another photo setup for photos. I have a setup in West Virginia. I like to just do them that's why I like it. Because I don't have to do anything special but pull this table around and knock stuff over. But I just pull my table around like that and then just watch TV.
Yeah, that seems like having it all in one area is helpful to making it a faster process. Oh my goodness. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know.
Yes. I have to get his pictures later on today and get him listed. He was a little dirty, so I sprayed him with the awesome cleaner from the Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And then it's not close by. It's like a yellow cleaner, and I use it for all my plushies.
So you just spray it on and then wipe it off?
I spray it. Well, if it's a tiny mark, I'll spray it on and then scrub it with a Tide pen.
Okay.
And then take a paper towel and soak it out. He was really bad, so I drenched him and let him sit for 24 hours, and he went through the washing machine. Okay, cool. No dryer.
Well, he looks pretty good from this angle.
Yeah, I'm real excited because I'm
What's he worth?
I haven't even comped or anything. Yeah. I don't know. The movie's out, so.
Yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy guys are usually pretty popular. That's a pretty good sized one.
Yeah, he's big. Isn't he cute? He's my friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to keep him. He's really squishy. We just saw the movie on Halloween. It's pretty good. So anyway, let me ask you another question.
Okay.
So you do have a photo set up. Do you have a process for listing?
I mean, we kind of have, I don't know if it's like a very official process. I just have my routine. Like I said, my husband takes most of the pictures, and he'll actually just edit them on his phone and send them to me. So then I do my listings. I may do them at any time during the process before or after he's done the photos, so that all I have to do is load the photos into them. And I probably need somebody to come in and tell me how to make things a little more efficient. Actually, Kyle would probably love to tell me how to be more efficient. But so we have all of our inventory downstairs, but I don't have an office space set up anywhere. So most of my listing and everything I do at my kitchen table, which is upstairs. So inventory gets dragged upstairs to be listed, weighed, measured, things like that. And then taken back downstairs to be stored and put away. And then all my shipping supplies are out in the garage. And so that's another, I have to go outside to get what I need to ship. And I do need a more efficient. We're going to move in about a year and a half, I think, and we're going to set it up the way we want when we move.
Yeah, but I would agree. My shipping stuff's all right there. I don't know if I have no depth perception, but we're going to try. Nope, can't see it. See those boxes? They're blocking you, but behind that stack of boxes is a big old shelf. And they're organized by what they are.
Yeah. Well, I have a zillion boxes, but...
Yeah, we keep some of those in the garage, but...
Yeah.
It took me a long time. Like, we struggled at our old place before we moved to Florida, before we moved back. We were all over the place. We had stuff in the attic. We had stuff in the basement. We had stuff in the office. We had stuff in the kitchen. And then we lived in a smaller apartment in Florida. So when we came here, I'm like, I want an office and I want it organized. And it does help when you when you have everything close by, I guess.
Right. But yeah, I need to do it. But part of the reason I come upstairs to sit at my kitchen table to work on my listings is because I've got lots of natural light in here. I'm not, hidden away in the basement in a dark room somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's good for my mental health.
Yeah, I open my curtains when I'm not filming. Get some sunlight. And we go for our walk. So I do get my vitamin D. I don't know how much longer though, because it's really cold here. It's going to freezing overnight now.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to walk at a different time of day. Walk during the warmest time of day.
The warm time of day. I also have a treadmill for like dead set winter, but I don't like it.
I know. I got rid of my treadmill because I never used it.
I don't like it. I feel like a hamster or something. Even when I put on a movie, I'm like, I like to be outside. I like when Keith walks with me when we go outside. So I have someone to talk to.
Yeah. I love to get outside and get some fresh air and exercise. So I don't do it as much. Certainly don't do it every day, but I should.
It's part of our routine. And we do shift the time. We were doing it in the mornings because it was too hot in the summer in the afternoon. So you guys, that's a good point. You need to be getting outside, especially in the winter because it's gray and people get that seasonal disorder where there's less sunlight, less vitamin D. We're in our houses alone. We're working from home. Even if it's 5-10 minutes a day during the warmest part of the day when the sun is out, just go outside and smell the air, get some sun on your face.
I always feel better. I always have a better day when I've been active and been outside.
Yeah. It's important. You got to get your blood moving and you've got to get that vitamin D. They say that's what causes the seasonal depression is the lack of light.
Right. And we're getting ready to fall back here this weekend.
Yeah. Remind me where you live?
Kansas.
Okay, so you get cold too, and
yeah,
it gets dark at 4 o'clock here in the winter.
Wow.
It starts to get like sundown around 4.
Yeah, it's more like 5 here, but still, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like because we usually work till 6, and it's dark when I'm off work, and I'm like, now I got to go clean the kitchen and make dinner and blah blah blah. And then in the summer, I feel like I could go all night and do all kinds of things.
I know that light does make a difference. It does.
The next question is suggestions for streamlining your processes, but like you said, you're waiting until you move.
Yeah, I mean, we may do some things. Then the other thing that's proven to be problematic, and we have a fairly good sized house, but storing all the inventory when you have over 1,000 items, so that it's easily accessible, and we need to work on that too. I mean, we've got it all in one room. Well, mostly all in one room, but we need to add more shelving and We do have everything labeled. For the longest time, I didn't know about the custom SKU field. And I don't know if I actually don't even know. Does Poshmark have that?
Mm-hmm.
And do they? Okay.
Poshmark does. Macari does not. List Perfectly does too.
Okay. Which really makes finding your stuff so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Using that.
Definitely.
So anybody that doesn't know about that, you can label your shelves and label where your stuff is and put it into your custom SKU field so that when you sell something, you know right where to go to look for it.
Yep. And if you do any kind of system like we do, I already put the tags away. We use little tags on our clothes, like Ben A. We have 20 slots. So if I sold something from 19, the next time I take a picture, it goes right back in. We reuse the tags.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. And the last picture I do in any listing is the item on a scale with the tag, so Keith can see the weight and where it's going when he lists it. And then in our LP catalog, we leave those pictures in forever. We delete them as we cross post, so they're not like on eBay or whatever. But if it ever fell behind the bins or behind a shelf or we can't find it, we can always go back to that picture and go, it's supposed to be here.
Yeah. Good. That's smart.
Yeah. And again, it took us a long time. Like when we first started, we were just throwing clothes in bins and oh my gosh, it was a mess. We got about 1,000, 1,500 listings in before we realized this is not working.
Yeah.
And I had to spend, it was January 2018 because we waited till our first Q4 went by, and it was so stressful because we never could find anything. We spent more time looking for stuff than we did anything else. Yeah. Shipping just took extraordinarily long, and that was in 2017 when, you know, with 2,000 listings, you were selling 25 a day, 30 a day because it was Q4 and things were great and everybody was buying stuff. It was a mess. So yeah. He was still working full time outside of the house. And so he was coming home and doing all of our listing for like 2-3 months so that I could just focus every day, just going through the stuff and redoing
That's a job.
I would pull each item out and put it in the SKU. Like we created what we were using now at that point. It took 3 months. But we're definitely better off for it because, I mean, that first Q4 was a nightmare. I remember crying some days, just like, why did we let it get this bad?
I spent a good amount of time this morning looking for something that I had mismarked where it was.
That's where that photo comes in handy too.
Right. Yeah.
Because I typo and he typos all the time, and it's easier to mismark. But yeah, it was just, I will never, there are worse problems to have than selling 25 or 30 items a day.
That's true. But it makes it, yeah.
But it was definitely very stressful.
Do you ever find the things that you've listed just disappear on eBay? Mm-hmm. And does that happen to you on any other platform?
Just eBay.
So how do you handle that?
Well, List Perfectly.
So, but how do you know when it's dropped off of eBay? You just like happen to notice it?
We actually do an inventory audit twice a year.
Do you? Okay.
And I'll do like 3 bins a day, 4 bins a day or whatever. It takes a couple of months, but I just build it into my routine. So I'm still doing everything else I need to do, but then I'm just going through 3 bins. And so I pull each item out and make sure it's on eBay. And if it's not, pre-LP, you had to pull it out, re-photograph it, blah, blah, blah. Now I just find it in my catalog and re-cross-post it.
Yeah.
I found 100 pieces that fell off in our last audit.
Wow.
100. They were still on Poshmark. They were still on Macari. They fell off the eBay. 100.
That's a ton. I know. And we've been doing that a little bit over this last few months. Like take a shelf, like a couple nights a week, we'd go through a shelf and check it. But it's not a fun process. And it shouldn't have to happen.
Well, I mean, even if stuff didn't fall off eBay, you probably should do an audit a couple times a year. Because like if you get a canceled sale and you forget to relist it.
Sure.
You get returns, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't mind it because I can pull the bins right here and just watch a movie while I go through them.
Yeah.
It's not my
Yeah.
favorite, but
Right.
I always find mistakes. I always find typos in the SKU or tags that were missing from the bin. So we had 2 spots maybe we could have been using this whole time, but somehow the tags maybe are in the garage somewhere. I don't know. So I have to remake the tags. Actually, I should say I do like it. I'm lying. I'm so OCD and
Your OCD.
stuff like that actually does feel something in me. I'm like, I'm organizing and I'm counting all the tags, and I'm a big nerd, y'all. I love to organize.
Well, it does feel good to be organized. I will admit, I'm just not
Not
quite as
everyone
organized.
is, and I mean, I'm to the point where it's gross. Like, if we say, let's say we're going to go walking, sometimes we go walking at the mall because it's 1 mile around, so we go 4 times. We walk 4 miles a day.
Wow, good.
So if we say, okay, we're going to go to the mall, and then we're going to go to the Dollar Tree, and then Walmart, and then lunch, and he wants to put lunch in between over here, and it's not what I had planned, and it's not on my list in that order, I do have like a small anxious moment because it's not, so it's not always pleasant being so OCD. When I said at the beginning of the show that my routines have to be my routine, if one thing gets thrown out of whack, the whole day is thrown out of whack. I can't get back on course. It has to go in the proper order. Hey, look who's here.
Oh, hey, it's Richard. We met Richard. Or I met Richard last year at FlipCon.
Me too. We hung out for a little bit with Trish and some folks. It was fun.
He wasn't there this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are getting close to the hour mark, so I get to ask you the one question I ask everybody at the end. It's my favorite question to ask because everybody's reaction is so different. But how do you feel about when people say resellers are stealing from the poor and that we're sleazy and horrible people?
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's I don't understand. Everybody has equal opportunity to go buy the things that we buy. We're not keeping anybody else from being there and buying what they need. And I have found, especially discovered, that like when we go out as groups of resellers sourcing together, there's more than enough stuff to go around. Yes. We all come away with stuff. And there's still landfills being filled with things that people don't want. So, yep. It's ridiculous. That's my
yeah.
That's my take on it.
I've come to the conclusion with like every week asking someone different and having this conversation. My conclusion is people sometimes are jealous because we do work from home and have the freedom to do this, and so they attack us like, "Oh, you're horrible people." We're really not. You could be doing it too.
Right.
You're just jealous. And there's still stuff going to the landfills. There's still plenty of stuff at the thrift store every week. I feel like I'm doing a service. I'm keeping stuff out of the landfill. I buy a lot of clothes. And I feel like I'm a personal shopper too. Because somebody in California may not be able to find the kinds of Levi's that are common in PA.
Right.
They can come on my store and find them.
Right. Yep. We are personal shoppers, basically.
And we're doing our part for the environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, people just have this, I don't know, like speaking of going out in groups, I had a bunch of friends out here in May for my birthday, and we went to Goodwill, Salvation Army, one of the two. And we're going through the racks, and this lady looked at me and my friend, and she went, "Oh, you must be resellers." And I said, "Well, you can tell." And she's like, "Oh, I can always tell you're kind."
Oh,
I was like, "Oh, that we're putting stuff back where it goes, that we're neat, that we're respectful, that we're nice." She was like,
I don't know.
She was like 2 racks away too. Like, I'm not even looking at anything you want, lady. She just heard me and my friend like, "Oh, that's a good brand. That's a bad brand. That's a good brand. That's a bad brand." Just jealous. Jealousy. I got smacked at Goodwill West Mifflin. Hey, that's nearby. West Mifflin is not too far from Pittsburgh. From some lady that was mad at me for thrifting. That was years ago. If you feel like traveling once a month, I'm going to do a little quick shout out if you don't mind, Lori.
Oh, it's fine.
I do have a local meetup group. It is sponsored by eBay. I just have to find it. I don't know that we're going to have a meetup in November or December, to be honest, because of the holidays and everything. This is our Facebook group. If you want to join that and you feel like traveling once every couple of months into Pittsburgh, we do have a meetup here. We have swag and everything that eBay sends us. It's a good time. I kind of got sassy. Not proud, but I did.
I can't see Melanie getting sassy at all.
I've gotten like really sarcastic. One time I had all these clothes. She says, I have to ask, how many kids do you have? And I went, well, like 15. This isn't enough clothes for all of them. Like, why would you just assume I'm buying that many clothes because I have so many kids?
Well, there are still people that don't know resellers exist, I think. I still will tell people what I do, and they're like, what?
Okay, we have 2 final questions. Okay. So on this channel, one of the things I like to talk about a lot is the importance of work-life balance. If you work all the time, it's unhealthy and it's not good for you or anybody else, but you also can't fiddle fart around. You have to work. So I like to ask everybody that comes on here, what do you like to do to unwind?
I like to get outside. I do like to go for walks. Don't do it every day, but I do like to get outside, like to hike. We do turn on the TV and watch like old shows in the evening, and not every evening, and spend time with my family. We've got our kids all over the place, so we travel a lot on the weekends to see kids. And I mean, I do like to read. I haven't been doing much of that lately. I need to get back to that. But there's only so many hours. But you're right. You need to have balance in your life, and you can't just be all reselling. So
you need to find that balance, because you have to be mentally healthy to be good for yourself. And if you're not good for yourself, you're not good for anybody else. If you're not mentally happy and healthy. When we went out to dinner, I know you and I talked about TV shows and we watched a lot of the same stuff. But what kind of books do you read?
Well, Christian fiction mostly. I do like a good sci-fi kind of vibe too. I like things like there's one of my favorite authors is named Ted Decker, and he kind of writes a lot about spiritual warfare and things, but it's very interesting. And
cool. I had to ask because I'm a huge bookworm, and Will's wife Hannah and I,
she loves to read too.
Mysteries, yeah, and I recommended her a bunch of mysteries.
Cool,
nice, clean ones. I like cozy mysteries. They're like the little less than 200 page, but there's like a series, and you have like one person, and you're in their life for months, and then the series finishes, and you're like, what do I do now? Those are the kind, and I like horror too, but
yeah, I don't, not my thing,
Stephen
but that's
King's
okay.
my favorite, but I don't even think Stephen King, like his early books, horror for sure, but his newer stuff is more about like loss and love. He writes a lot about people being widowed and just how they deal with it. There's some supernatural stuff in there, but I think he's changed.
Interesting.
As he gets older, he writes differently.
Yeah.
Well, I still like his stuff. It's great. And he's been trying detective novels as well, like Noir. All right. So the last question then, what are you doing this weekend?
This weekend, we're going for Mexican food tonight because it's Friday. Weekend starts, as soon as he gets home. And I actually think we're going to clean and organize this weekend. Nothing real exciting, but just something that needs to be done. We need to get, like I was talking about, my inventory room is kind of maxed out. We need to reorganize and add some shelving. So we spent last weekend with kids out of town, and this weekend it's going to be spent at home doing things around here that we need to do.
Yeah,
That's life. Yep.
We're actually working a half a day tomorrow, which is very rare for us, but we have so much inventory coming in. We just need to get through photographing and putting it where it goes. And then I have to flip my Halloween tree over to a Christmas tree. And look, for the past 4 years, I've been renting this on Amazon Prime.
Elf.
Yes, and Keith is like, if you're renting it for $4 every year, why haven't you just bought it?
Buy it?
And this way I can watch as much as I want. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
That is my favorite Christmas movie, probably. Yeah. I love it. And,
so I'll be watching this on my tree tomorrow night.
But see, I'm still a day after Thanksgiving Christmas person. I don't do Christmas till Thanksgiving.
I put my Halloween tree up September 1st for the weekend that falls after.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at it for 2 months. I'm ready for it to change.
I understand. I understand.
We'll be doing that, and then we're going out to eat Sunday with his grandparents that we usually spend every Sunday dinner with them. Yeah. And I'll be reading a whole bunch. So
that'll be good. Oh yeah, my son is coming over to see us on Sunday, so we will have some family time too.
That's always important.
Yep.
So you guys know what I say usually at the end of every live show. Make sure that you're being productive, but also this weekend take some time for yourself, your friends, your family, your pets, your loved ones. Even if it's just to take a walk in the woods or watch one TV show. Do something for yourself. Take a bath. Do something. Cut your toenails, whatever. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well as your business. Sometimes just cutting your toenails can feel like a day at the spa. Do you have any last words of wisdom for anybody? For everybody?
I don't know. I guess I'm not feeling very wise today.
Very wise. Well, I would say your advice should be to take the time to get organized if you're not, because you are.
Yes. Yep. Can only help.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like it's overwhelming and it takes so much time to get organized, but at the end of it all, it's definitely worth it.
Just like starting your day with your bed made makes you feel better. Being organized just makes things smoother.
Feel good.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you as well. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And in the description box, I have Lori's YouTube and Lori's Instagram. So go subscribe to her YouTube and follow her on Instagram. And again, I cannot stress the importance of the balance. So take some time this weekend to enjoy yourselves. It is the first weekend in November. So maybe you want to decorate for Thanksgiving, but do something. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks to Lori for coming on. I appreciate it. This was a good time. Hopefully I'll see you at an event next year again.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. See you later. Love you. Bye.